Barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free, hit the subscribe button, hit the subscribe, and join me on Patreon, man. I think I did some hella videos this week, man. Barbershop conversations on Patreon. All right, here's another video where we just take all the fat off the bone, and uh, um, I'll just tell the truth, man. Some of y'all are gonna say, "Oh, he hating on Al Haymon, hating on the Porters." I can care less, but this is a classic case of the business of boxing allowing the narrative to manipulate the boxing fans. And let me explain. And by the way, I'm going to say the most important interview that we've had as it pertains to this Crawford Porter fight was in the barbershop when Bob Arum said he'll give Shawn Porter $1 million, and everyone got mad and everyone got outraged. Bob Arum's cheap. Anyway, so give the patrons, give DB and PPD some credit, man, because we do the damn thing. All right. I'm going to simplify it. Shawn Porter is a PBC fighter, right? Terrence Crawford is a Bob Arum fighter, right? So let's bring this example into our house. Al Haymon is Shawn Porter's father, right? Bob Arum is Shawn Porter's father. Now let's go, for example. If you're hungry and you haven't eaten all day, do you blame your neighbors because you can see them come through your kitchen window and they don't offer you no food? Or do you blame your mother or your father? You blame your mother or your father, right? And that's the case here. Shawn Porter has the keys to the city, rest in peace, Nip, right? With the mandatory. And no one is blaming Al Haymon for not telling Shawn to exercise his mandatory. No one is blaming. I'm baffled. Fans just fall with the narratives. Terrence Crawford is ducking, because here's the catch. Here's what y'all are missing. If Bob Arum says he'll go with me if Bob Arum says in the barbershop he'll pay $1 million, and then Kenny Porter goes to his office and they don't agree to a deal, even if Terrence Crawford wants to fight him, he's not going to give the money that Shawn Porter desires, right? God damn, man. I'm trying to make it make sense for y'all, but now, it starts in the office. It starts in the corner office, not on Twitter, man. All right, because if that's the case, Gary Russell would have fought Devin Haney. They don't want the fight. I'm not even gonna say they don't want the fight to happen. If y'all want the fight to happen, y'all got to tell Team Porter to say Al Haymon's name. Tell Al Haymon to put the money up for the fight, because he has the right. All it takes is one signature. All it takes is one signature to put 100% pressure on Terrence Crawford. When did we become a society where we depend on other people to feed us? Oh, I forgot. We wait for the government. We waiting on the government for a windfall. We waiting on the Democratic Party. Oh, I get it. I know. The same niggas that are advocating that this fight happen are the same niggas that voted for Biden. Simply put, you know what I mean? I'll use me as an example. Lincoln has recitals, right? And Lincoln practices at home on a keyboard, right? Then when he goes to the recitals, he plays on a big grand piano. And I'm thinking in my head, hold up. You practice how you play, right? In the game. I'm thinking, why would I ask someone else, can I borrow their grand piano? And I have Lincoln practicing on a keyboard. So you know what I did as a parent? I spent $30,000 on a grand piano so Lincoln can perform at home the same way he performs at the recitals. We've come accustomed to waiting on the government. Stop waiting on your oppressor. It's really that simple. And this ain't no slight at Kenny Porter, because obviously if they can show aggression towards me, little old YouTuber Freddie, they should be able to show aggression towards Al Haymon. Or can they? So fans, If y'all gonna tweet the man, if y'all gonna Instagram the man, tell him to tell Al Haymon to buy the fight. It takes one signature. One signature. That's it. It takes an email. That's it. It's really that simple. And I was reading all the comments and stuff on my posts, and then on and the DMs and stuff. Listen, I just want to tell y'all the truth. You know what I mean? And you also got to give us credit for us pushing this storyline. When Bob Arum said he'll buy $1,000,000, everyone was outraged. Bob Arum's cheap. So how much money is Al Haymon willing to put up on the fight? He's the mandatory. Ray Vargas is Gary Russell's mandatory for the WBC belt. Am I missing something? Castano fought Teixeira as the mandatory. That fight got done. When Jojo Diaz was the mandatory for Gary Russell, I'm talking about cross promotion deals. Jojo Diaz fought Gary Russell. I was there. All these other people are exercising their mandatory rights, but Shawn Porter isn't. Y'all got to make it make sense. Yildirim was his mandatory. He got paid $2.5 million. So, guys, stop emotional responding on the lower frequencies. That's all I'm going to ask you guys to do, because I enjoy just telling the truth, man. I enjoy just being honest, man. You know what I mean? And that's the truth. So this ain't no shade, but you can't come at me when I'm telling the truth. Tell Kenny Porter, tell Shawn Porter to go have a meeting with Al Haymon so they can exercise their mandatory clause. It's really that easy. Bob Arum don't want to pay Shawn Porter. So even if Terrence Crawford accepts the fight, Terrence Crawford ain't giving up his purse, giving up a piece of his purse to fight Shawn Porter. So what are y'all talking about right now? Y'all got to make it make sense. Y'all just emotionally saying Terrence Crawford don't want to fight Shawn Porter. The ball is in PBC's hand, y'all. You don't get mad at your neighbor for making their kid steak and your parents are feeding you hamburger helper. When Shawn Porter had leverage, he exercised it, right? When Al Haymon has leverage, he will exercise it. All right. Al Haymon's been flexing for 4 years. When Bob Arum had power with Manny Pacquiao, he flexed for a handful of years. When Al Haymon had Floyd Mayweather, he flexed. So please understand what the hell is really going on. All right. And I tell you guys the truth, and this is why executives don't like me. Because I just tell you guys the truth. Now, y'all can go on with the narrative and say Terrence Crawford is ducking. He may be ducking. He may not want the fight. But it's not up to Terrence Crawford at this point. It's up to Al Haymon and Shawn Porter. It's really that easy. Send it to purse bid. Teofimo Lopez did it. So Teofimo Lopez is a better businessman than Shawn Porter? I'm going to ask you guys a question. Teofimo Lopez is a better businessman than Shawn Porter? Y'all not ready for the truth. Y'all still stuck on Narrative Street. Nightmare on Narrative Street. That's what y'all on. Anyways, man. Barbershop. It's Friday night, y'all. No show tonight. We'll be back Sunday, man. We're going to have a hot show. We obviously, maybe I'll have David Benavidez come in for a hot second, man, or Jose Benavidez, you know what I mean, for a hot second. You know what I mean? Have them come into the shop, say what's up, and call out Jamal Charlo, Caleb Plant, or Canelo. You know what I mean? And but I probably that Caleb Plant Canelo fight may be verbally done. So that just leaves Charlo. But anyways, man, we got to honor Charlo's word, man. Imagine if I, imagine if I took a back step when I went to fights and I didn't ask the questions that I asked on, or I didn't have the same tenor. Y'all wouldn't respect me, right? How the fuck can a fighter be a two-time world champion and not stand up to a man that works for him, that being Al Haymon? Listen, don't ever put your livelihood in the hands of another man that depends on another man. And you say, what the fuck am I saying? Al Haymon gets the money from Fox. Then Al Haymon gives the money to the fighters. You got to go through two sources and a whole bunch of legalities to get the fight. Stop putting your hands in other people and then complaining. Twitter ain't gonna get it done. It's gonna take you. It's gonna take you saying fuck it. They won't even say Al Haymon's name. I heard Shawn Porter call him AH. You know what I mean? In a clip. His name is Al Haymon. How come I can say his name and y'all can't? It might be legal binding that they can't talk bad about the man or place demands upon him. And Al Haymon has been good for the sport of boxing. But you can't make deals with them guys and expect them not to squeeze you. You can't make a deal with those execs, those jury people, and not expect them to squeeze you. You can't expect that. They squeezing Al Haymon right now. Luis Ortiz, Andy Ruiz and Chris Arreola is everything I needed to know. That's on pay-per-view. He's saying, fans, can y'all please help me out? I ain't got enough money to put this fight on. That's what it's saying. This ain't no shade. This is the truth. You know what I mean? It's the truth. It's like when you graduate from high school and you realize one of your parents was deadbeat and the other parent was just protecting him. Oh, he'll be home later, knowing that he was out with his other family. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, all Shawn Porter has to do is exercise his mandatory clause and have Al Haymon pick up the fight. It's really that easy. Nothing more, nothing less, guys. And this ain't no hate video. I can give two shits about what anyone cares about me, and but I know y'all gonna think it. So this video is gonna do well, and y'all gonna share it. Oh man. Barbershop Kyle. I just ain't no shade on Kenny Porter, man. I'm done with that shit, man. But I tell you what, he probably ain't forgot about it. So, anyways, man, Barbershop Conversations, man. Tell Kenny Porter and Shawn Porter to go meet with Al Haymon and exercise their mandatory clause. And that way, Terrence Crawford can't do anything. He can't do anything. Maybe Thriller will pick up the fight. Maybe DAZN will pick up the fight. Maybe Famio will pick up the fight. Who knows? But Shawn Porter can't be a two-time world champion and be a lesser businessman than Teofimo Lopez. How about you bet on yourself a little bit? But you know, when they give you a little job, they want you to have forbearance or forgiveness for the big job. Shawn Porter, that commentating job is not more important than your fighting job. Because if you get that handful of $1 million from fighting, if you invest, you won't need a commentating job. I'm a great example of that. Ain't no nigga gonna pay me to get on the plane. Pay me to get on the plane and give me 5,000, nigga, please. Man, I'd rather stay home and, you know what I mean, and you know, watch Lincoln play his grand piano in my house. Barbershop Conversations, man. I'm giving y'all so much game, but you know, y'all gonna say I'm hating. Take it what it is. We'll talk about this Sunday in the shop live. Barbershop Conversations. Feel for if anybody's hating, maybe Al Haymon's hating on Shawn Porter. Maybe Al Haymon is hating on Shawn Porter. We already know Bob Arum is hating on Terrence Crawford. I repeat, we already know Bob Arum's hating on Terrence Crawford. Is Al Haymon hating on Shawn Porter? I'm gone. Peace.